Hello, I'd like to welcome you to the 13th chapter of the book of Hosea. In this chapter we will be featuring the personal pronoun of the third person, plural. And there are uh, the masculine, feminine, and neuter, but the genitive of tone is the same in the masculine, feminine, and neuter of them. And so a person needs to try to figure out exactly who the them is. There's also uh, the same word for the dative in the masculine and the neuter. So we're going to be going through these as we come to them and point them out with the uh, orangish salmon color highlight. And verse 13 begins, Kata ton logon Ephraim, dikao mata elevin avtos in Israel, ke ethato ti val, ke apethane. Uh, Here we're going in according to the word. Ephraim conceived ordinances himself in Israel. There's the avtos. We had that earlier. That's the masculine nominative. He himself uh, conceived the ordinances according to the word. Now I'm not exactly sure what word he received and made his own ordinances, but they did leave the southern kingdom of Judah and made their own kingdom in the north Israel, and they began to serve the golden calves, and here it says they pointed to Baal and died. And this could be referring earlier to some worship that they were doing in this northern kingdom. Ephraim was, of course, one of the 12 tribes, and it was located towards the middle, and it became a fairly important tribe. Ephraim was one of the sons of Joseph. Other one was Manasseh. And then when the kingdoms separated, Ephraim was uh, denoted as the northern kingdom in many places. So uh, Ephraim was doing these idolatrous acts here in verse 1. Ephraim is in the masculine. Israel later is also in the masculine, but Samaria is in the feminine. In verse 2, Ke nin prosethento tu amartanin, ke apis en iaftis ho nevmata ek tu argiriu avton, kat ikona idolon, erga tektonon. And now they proceeded to sin and made for themselves a peace. And we have the poet is the derivative for 4160. And then here's the verb in the past tense. They made for themselves molten castings of their silver, of tone of their. And here we have the uh, pronoun in the genitive plural, them. And here we had they is built into this verb. Now Ephraim earlier was a singular, uh, and Israel. So who is them referring to here? I believe it's talking about basically the children of Israel, the people. It doesn't actually say that there, but I think that's what it's referring to. So these people made for themselves molten castings of argiriu. We have Argentina, the country named after silver. According to the image, the icona, icon, uh, is a derivative of idols, idolon, idol. It's almost a direct transliteration. Uh, the works or works of fabricators, ergonomics, is a derivative, and tektonon, an architect, somebody that fabricates or makes something. Syntetelos mena aftis, being completed for them, these works, these idols that they were made. Afti, they, here's the, they is in the masculine. They say, masculine plural, they say, uh, avti legusi, thisate anthropous, moski gar, eklalipasi. They say, sacrifice men, for the calves have ceased. Anthropos is anthropology, studies with have to do with mankind. For the calves have ceased. Moski, we have the musk. Uh, I'm not exactly sure what it means here. Possibly uh, it's saying that we have used up the resources that we have, and so now we're going to sacrifice men or sacrifice ourselves, going even further into their idolatry. Via tuto esonte os nepheli proini, ke os drosos orthrini, porevomeni, os knus, apophysomenos, ap alonos, ke os atmis apodakrion. On account of this, they will be as, and I believe the northern kingdom, as the early morning cloud, and as early morning dew going away. So apparently in that part of the world, the clouds disappeared, sun came out, the dew was gone. These people are going to disappear. As dust being blown away from the threshing floor, they're going to disappear. And as atomies, we have atmosphere. Uh, it has to do with a vapor, atmosphere. Um, as a vapor from tears. Ego de Kyrios o theosu. Ego aniga gon se ekgis Aegyptu. Ke theon plin nemu u genosi. Ke soson uk esti parex emu. But I, Kyrios, your Theos, I led you from out of the Giz of Egypt, and you shall not know, Gnosi, with the Gnostics, the knowers, you shall not know a God, Theon, besides me. And there is not one delivering besides me. And this sozo, as we mentioned, would have been saved or saving in the King James. Ego epi menon se in ti erimo in gi aikito. I tended you in the wilderness. Tending as in sheep. I tended you in the wilderness. Erimo, when they left Egypt. Then, as mentioned there, I led you from out of the land of Egypt. And then he tended them, took care of them in the wilderness, gave them water, manna, delivered them from the enemy. In the Gi, in an uninhabited Gi land, the Sinai. Kata tas nomas avton, ke enaplisthison is plismonin, ke ipso thison e cardiae avton, enikatuto epelathon tomu. According to their pastures, avton, so the people, so they were filled unto fullness. So they were given everything. And they exalted their cardiae, their hearts, cardiac, cardiologist, a heart doctor. Because of this, they forgot me. So they were full, and they were happy, given everything, and they forgot God. It's so much like mankind. When everything is going really well, God is something that is set aside because people have everything. But when times are tough, then people cry out to God and for rain in the days when their irrigation wasn't as good as it is today. People would cry out to God. But today, the God is being forgotten. Verse 7, Ke esome aftis os panther, ke os pardalis, katatin odon Assyrion. And I will be to them as a panther, and that's a direct transliteration into English, panther, and as a pardalis, a pard, leopard, pardalis. Part of that is a direct transliteration as a leopard, according to the way of the Assyrians, the odon, the cathode way of electricity. God is going to be as an animal attacking. They will go to the Assyrians. Apantisome aftis os arcos e aporumeni, ke diarixo sing klismon, cardies avton, ke kataphagonte avtus aki skimnu thrimu, ke theoria agru diaspasi avtus. I will meet them as a bear, arcos. Other spellings were arctos, the Arctic, has to do with the bear and the stars, Arcturus. I will meet them as a bear being perplexed, and I will tear up the enclosure of their heart, Cardias, and the cubs of the forest shall devour them there, and wild beasts of the field, the agru, agriculture, shall pull them apart. So this image of these people being destroyed as they go to Assyria. Ti diaphthorasu Israel, tis voithisi. In your corruption, O Israel, who will help? Who's going to help you once this starts to happen? Pu o vasilefsu utos, ke diasosato se. In pases tes polisisu, crinato se on ipas thos mi Vasilea ke archonta. Where is your Vasilevs, king, Basilica? And let him preserve you in all your policy cities, metropolis. Let him judge you, whom you said, give to me a king, a Vasilea, and a ruler. And when the children of Israel came out of Egypt and they were ruled by, no, not so much rule, but judges were set over them in various places and times till the last judge, Samuel, when they finally wanted a king like the surrounding nations. So now they have a king who's actually destroying them, taking them down the path of destruction. So he's saying, well, let your king save you now. Ke edokasi Vasilea in Orgimu, ke eskon in Tothimomu. And I gave to you a Vasilea, king, in my Argi. There's a frenzy, and I sufficed in my Themo, rage, fume for Themo. It's a derivative. Uh, God was in anger, but yet he went along with what they wanted, and he ordained a king, Saul, who was quickly found to be lacking, and God more or less got rid of him. He died, and David, a man after his heart, came up. But then after David, Solomon, who at first was to God's liking, but then later he multiplied wives who brought idolatry, and then from there it went on down with all these kings, except a few who actually did bring in reforms. And go through the book of, when we go through the book of Kings and Chronicles, we'll bring these out. 13. O thinis os tiktusis ikusin avto, utos o iosu o phronimos, dioti nin umi iposti and sintrivi teknon. Pangs, as one giving birth, shall come to him. This one, I have he is, but 3778, utos is this. This one, or this, your enlightened, or your intelligent son, because now in no way should he stand in the destruction of children. The king or the ruler, it will be as one giving birth a horrible time, hurts, and this is your intelligent son, which is bringing them into destruction. From the ek hieros adu, rhizome aftus, ek thanatu, continues, from the hand, hieros, a chiropractor with a ch sound there, from the hand of Hades, adu, I shall rescue them. Here we have rhizome. It's not sozo, it's to save or to deliver, but here it's rescue. Rhizome, I shall rescue them, these children of Israel from children of Ephraim, people from that country. From thanatu, from death. Thanatology has to do with the study of death, or has to do with working with the dead in cemeteries, cemetery science, mortuary science. Litrosome aftus, I will ransom them. Here's a strange inclusion that's all around. It's sort of God is going to destroy them and take them away, but then yet he says, I will ransom them. And then after this it says, pu idhiki su, thanate pu tokentron su adi, parakalisis, kekripte apo ophthalmon mu. And where is your punishment, O death? And where is your sting, O Hades? Consolation is hidden from my eyes. In 1 Corinthians 15:15, it mentions sort of an allusion to this. It's not exactly the same, but it says in verse 55 of 15, where is your sting, O death? Now, it's not exactly the same, because up here it's the sting is Hades. Where is your victory, O Hades? And here is punishment. Your sting, O Hades, and death, your punishment. And the sting of death is sin, and the power of sin is the law. In verse 15, Theoti utos anameson adelphon diasteli. For this he will separate between brethren. This 1473 should be scratched out of there. We'll repair that in the second edition. Epoxy kavsona anamon kyrios ektis erimu epavton ke anaxi rani tas flevas avtu exerimosi tas pigas avtu avtos kataxi rani tigin avtu ke panta taskevi. For this he will separate between brethren, adelphon, Philadelphia, Adelphia, city of brotherly love. The Lord, Kyrios, too, will bring up kavsona, a burning wind, caustic, comes from that. From out of the erimu, a hermit, is a derivative, from out of the wilderness upon him. And he shall dry up his arteries. He shall make quite desolate his springs. He shall totally dry up his land and all his desirable items. Now, who is this? Who is this he here? And all of a sudden it went from them into he will do this in verse 15. I'm not exactly sure if it's talking about a certain person that is going to be doing something in the future. Maybe one of the rulers of Assyria, possibly, referring to that when he attacks. Aphanistisate Samaria, oti antesti pros theon avtis, in Romphea pesunte keta ipotithia avton, edaphistisate K-A-N gastri, ekuse avton, thearagisonte. Samaria shall be obliterated, for she was stood against her Theon, God. By the broadsword they shall fall. Now we go back to the they. Probably the people of the northern kingdom, Samaria, Ephraim, and the ones under their breasts. Possibly the they there, they by the broadsword they shall fall. That is the women who have these children, and the ones under their breasts shall be dashed, and the ones have of them having one in the womb, the pregnant women, gastri, the gastric, and the stomach area, shall be torn up. So this uh, continues with the destruction of this northern kingdom, and we will be going into the 14th chapter next. I believe it's the last chapter, and hope that you will join us, and God bless.